over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.
Hello, race fans, and welcome to the V8 Supercar Americas Series. And we are right here for V8's Online. I want to let you know that tonight's broadcast will be presented in beautiful high definition and brought to you by our wonderful sponsors, the V8 Supercar Fan Group, Direct Clutch Services, and our very own V8's Online Superstore. With me tonight to call all the action will be Kane Kraft. And Kane, a big show tonight. Buddy, how are you feeling this evening? Are you ready for a big one?
I am. Montreal, it's going to be fantastic. We always have a great race when we come to Montreal, and I'm expecting none less here tonight. It's going to be fantastic.
One thing we know about Montreal is it is a fun and exciting track. We've seen loads of action as far as guys that have had big good times here, but we've also seen extremely bad times here as well. Some drivers have really had some issues here. This can be a really tough track with the chicanes, Kane. We know that several guys have been caught with the evil slow down penalty for course cutting or even just barely nicking over at over the wrong line in a chicane. You get a little bit off of your racing line, and it can really cost you here. It makes for an exciting race. You're never safe here at Montreal.
Yeah, it's true. 30 laps these guys will have to contend with those penalties and having to be so careful on those corners because Montreal, as you said, is one of the worst for the corner cuts. The stewards are very picky here, and the penalties are severe if you cut the corners. So these guys will be watching their P's and Q's for 30 laps around here. Now, sounds like the pit strategy is going to open up about lap 9, and it could go as long as lap 21.
Man, that is something else. That makes for an exciting race when you see if somebody's going to hold out or come in for the early stop. It does change up the race a little bit. This is not a difficult pit road to head down like we've seen in some other tracks this season. A pretty easy pit entrance, but the thing here is this is one of the longest pit roads, so you have to go down it at a grueling slow pace compared to other places. So you can lose a lot of time if you're not careful. But when you have a long pit road, Kane, that's where you get in trouble by speeding on pit road if you're not careful. If you just get into a hurry, and it's not actually going into pit road where most people speed here, it's actually exiting the pits. So that's going to be fun to watch too, see if anybody does, because if they do, they'll have to come back for the old stop and go, and that could cost them an entire field of drivers. It could really hurt you.
Yeah, you're not lying there, JD. It's you're talking about a 45-50 second window or pit lane delta, and the entrance is so easy, but it's also real easy to speed on the entrance because you're coming from the fastest spot on the track, and it's just straight into the pit lane. There's very little to actually force you to slow down, other than the little yellow cone that you can barely see. And the pit exit's horrible because it dumps you right on the racing line, right in the middle of a hairpin.
Yeah, very good point, and that is, it comes in, the pit road exits into a really rough spot, like you just mentioned, right in to where traffic just comes in all at once. It's just not a good place. It can get real hairy there real quick.
And that's really one of the spots at the start of the race you really have to watch out for too, especially with the V8s. Have a bunch of sharp corners right after the start. You want to have people excited, trying to get a bunch of positions. Everybody's crowded up, losing the rear ends. It tends to be pretty eventful at the start of these races.
Let's run through the starting grid, guys. We only got about 40 seconds left. We got Marlon McMullen on the pole. Mike Fulcher in second. Martin Carroll starting in third. Bo Catel's in fourth. Curtis Chipway will be rolling off in fifth. Nigel Baines will be rolling off in sixth. Jason Dickinson has made it to the top split tonight. He'll be rolling off in seventh. Mark Anderson eighth. Sanjin Delilik will be going in ninth. And Dennis Gaterick starting in 10th.
Look at this, kid. Dennis Gaterick making it up to the top split race. Going to be fun to see this week. Got a lot of stuff getting ready as these guys get ready to take the grid here at Montreal.
I have been told that Joe Cubis is not racing this week. He has some items to take care of outside of iRacing, and wishing him luck for that. So it's a good chance for somebody else to catch up in the points.
Yeah, and it's really allowed for some other drivers to make it up into the top split. Like I said, Jason Dickinson made it up here. We also get a return of Ryan Shelton, who we followed last week in the second split and had a great race at Bathurst. So glad to see Ryan back up here in the top split. We're going to have a great race here tonight.
All right, boys. Everybody is lining up right now as we get ready for the start. Marlon McMullen, Michael Fulcher on your front row. Let's get ready as these guys are getting ready for the lights. And the revs are starting. The lights are getting ready to light up here and then come off here at Circuit Gilles. And here we are off to a big start. Marlon McMullen, your two-time America's champ, off to a grand start with Michael Fulcher right there on the side. At a turn one, it will be Marlon McMullen who pulls in the lead, and followed by Michael Fulcher and then Marty Carroll. Back there right in front, Marty had some trouble on the start. He'll fall 2 positions behind. Looks like Bo Cattell and Curtis Chipaway there, guys.
Yeah, Marty and Nigel Baines now going nose to tail, 2 V8 Supercars. Carnivore Candy, that's the word I'm looking for. It's right there on the tip of my tongue trying to get their sponsor out, but I just couldn't get it.
It happens, but I'm telling you, there's so many different sponsors. We get them running into one another. Sometimes they're hard to get out. Especially when you look at a guy like Curtis Chipaway, and some trouble for the leader. Marlon McMullen having to slow down, possibly our first slowdown penalty of the afternoon. And this could be just a little small sign of things to come.
Yeah, as we've seen here so many times, that these slowdown penalties can just be devastational for somebody's race, to use one of your words.
A good word, too. It's a good word.
Yeah, that seems to have caught on quite well.
Man, fantastic running right now. Marlon McMullen, he just fell back, is already on the rebound, trying to make his way around Mark Anderson. A good battle going on right now. Mark Anderson currently in the 6th position. And then behind Marlon McMullen, things are starting to stack up as another high-tech oils machine, Jason Dixon. And then behind him, it's Sanjay Delilac. So we got all kind of action going on here inside your top 10.
Tell you what, Curtis Chipaway and Mike Fulcher having a great battle there for the first half of that lap there, and it's going to get intense here as these two's battle continues to heat up.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. Through this second chicane, it's a lot of traffic. These guys have put in loads of practice over the weekend. It shows really close. Right now, good battle going on with Sanjay Delilac. Had a big opportunity. Can he get on the inside of Jason Dixon? And he's gonna have to stay behind him. Good battle going on there. Marlon McMullen, guys, that battle has continued, and Marlon McMullen has been able to find his way around Mark Anderson. So that's big stuff right there, as Marlon McMullen in 6th place on his way back towards the front.
Yeah, we'll definitely want to keep our eyes on Marlon, as he's definitely got some great pace here tonight. So he'll be one to watch, because I think we'll be able to watch him work his way through the field quite a bit here tonight. Jason Scandalera back in the last place on the field tonight. Not sure what happened with Jason. He's had a great run the last few weeks. We've seen some pretty good speed out of him. Ryan Shelton and Dennis Gutierrez all back at the back end of this field, but all 3 great drivers.
Yeah, it's been fun to see too. Dennis Gutierrez, then of course newcomer Ryan Shelton, followed by Jason Scandalera, and fun to watch. These three got a good little. They're right a part of this pack. They are definitely in this race. They are not just here for for a joyride, guys. They're in to win it. They're showing They're showing they deserve to be right where they're at. All right, back out front, though, in the lead right now is the number 3 machine, Bo Cattell, and he looks really good at the moment, followed by Curtis Chipaway in second place. Behind him, it is Michael Fulcher in the KRT machine, and then Marty Carroll. Rounding out the top 5, it is going to be Nigel Baines. Marlon McMullen is in 6th, of course. Mark Anderson 7th. Jason Dixon 8th, with Sanjay Dalalik battling closely in 9th. Back and rounding out your top 10 will be Richard Elward. Martin Creamers will be in 11th. Dennis Gutierrez 12th, 13th, Ryan Shelton. And of course, as we mentioned, Jason Scandalera is in, now he's in 13th. He made his way up, and Ryan Shelton has fallen back one, guys. I apologize. That just changed a moment ago. So all kind of stuff going on early in the race. We've already seen a big slowdown penalty, guys. We've seen some really tight racing, and you know this is going to continue. It looks like Curtis Chipaway's on his way to try to contest for the lead, with Bo Cattell out in the Tag Pest Management machine car leading this race. At the beginning of the race, guys, remember 30 laps tonight in all, and that is going to be a pit strategy involved as well, so it will be fun to see how the guys decide to go tonight, who will follow the leader, and who will be the leader, who's going to be that lead strategy. They probably have their premeditated strategies, but things can always change on the track with just different events here and there. It can change in a heartbeat. I'm watching Marty Carroll right now, guys. He's starting to rebound nicely. He is literally right on the bumper now of Michael Fulcher, and him and Nigel Baines, both STC Motorsport members, right there, right behind KRT machine driver Michael Fulcher. And I think in just a moment we may see Marty Carroll try to put his car back up in that podium's position.
Yeah, Marty definitely looking very pacey here today. He's got a great car. The car looks like it's on rails. He might be held up a little bit there by Fulch, but these guys, very good friends, so Marty's not going to try to put a move on that might get these guys into the wall or hurt either of their races.
Yeah, very good point, Kane. Plus, it would put his teammate in danger as well. Nigel Baines right behind him. And if something were to happen with Marty and
Curtis Chipaway putting the move on Bo Cattell, almost had it, got a little bit of wheel spin there, but good effort by Curtis. Bo Cattell did get back out in front. This is a battle to watch here for the lead, as Curtis Chipaway has caught Bo Cattell. Sorry to interrupt you, JD, but that was looking like it's going to get interesting.
Well, it may just do that as we keep an eye on the leader. Bo Cattell right now having his own worries and woes, as he has that big threat in his rear view window. And guys, that could happen like you said, Kane, at the drop of a hat. We know we've seen Curtis Chipaway do this in the past. He looks like maybe he's content with standing there in second, and the next thing you know, boom, he'll just throw his car side by side. They'll be door handle to door handle. And Bo Cattell will be doing everything in his power just to maintain that lead. And that's exactly what we saw a minute ago. And it looks like Curtis has put himself in the position to maybe try that again. And a good job right there from Bo Cattell to go out with him, to not let him get beside him, but to stay in front and keep that race line blocked. He does not want to let that number 4 car around him.
One thing I want to mention here, JD and Kane in the second split. Um, Jason Quire is leading right now with a 6-second lead over one of my new favorite drivers, Katie Taranto. One thing you have not mentioned yet, the Wall of Champions. And Katie Taranto came by a couple laps ago and really smacked that wall, but she has gone from 9th on the grid up to 2nd, followed by Simon Pitt, Rory Windrum, Shane Rayner, Michael Jeffries, Jared Sharp, Dean Flavel, and Andrew Wickham. Peter Simon's rounding out the top 10. This is a pretty good race here.
Yeah, we haven't had any incidents here with the Wall of Champions as of yet, but it's still early.
Right. I was talking to a couple people before the race, and about the farthest you really want to go on these laps apparently is about 18 laps or so. Apparently there's just a cliff the tires are falling off of after about lap 18. And most people I've spoken with are opting really to pit early, kind of like with the old V8 cars instead of the modern, what they've been seeing now, where you kind of hold out for a little bit. Apparently people just want to get off the tires, get back on new set as soon as they can with this race this week.
Whew. Marlon McMullen scraping the wall just a little bit there. He has caught Nigel Baines. He's caught this group of cars up here, and we'll start looking for Marlon to start trying to get around these cars here before long. But he's going to have to keep it out of the wall.
You know, one thing I meant to bring up pre-race, boys, was the fact that Marlon McMullen had won and finished the season. He actually won a championship here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And you know what's awesome about that for him is just he remembers great memories, and great confidence resides in this track for Marlon. He knows that he is one of the best drivers when it comes to this track, and he's here today to make a statement. He had an unbelievable way as this is going on. We got side-by-side action as Marty Carroll now going to go to the inside of Michael Fulcher here. Sorry to cut the story short, boys, but going down our big straightaway, our backstretch, what I like to call it, the big straightaway after the hairpin, side-by-side, Marty has completed the pass as they head into the third chicane here. It looks like that will stick and remain. So Marty Carroll now up into the top 3. And Michael Fulcher falls back in position. Will Nigel Baines come up now? Look, to going back to the story I was talking about. Here comes the man of the story. Your man, Marlon McMullen, the 2-time America's champ. And here he comes. He put a very threatening position on Nigel Baines. But Nigel Baines doing a fantastic job of maintaining composure and keeping the 2-time champion at bay. Oh, this is fun, boys. 4 cars right here, all extremely talented, huge names here in the V8 Supercar America Series, and they're putting on nothing short of a spectacular show right now. Back to what I was mentioning about real quick about the 2-time champ Marlon McMullen. He has had such an amazing story here at this track. You know it means a lot to him. Look for him just to have a big day, even after getting that slowdown penalty. He's already put himself back to 4th, guys, and he's threatening, or excuse me, he's got himself back up there to 6th, but look at him to try to get up there about 4th, 3rd. We'll see him. Trust me, he's going to try to put moves on. Here he goes right now, going to try to get a wheel in, and can't get the nose down inside by the hairpin. He'll have to maintain behind Nigel a little bit further.
We're getting close to that pit entry window to where some of these drivers will come in for some fuel and some fresh tires. So we might see Marlon be one of the first to dip in and try to get around some of these guys in the pits.
That would be very interesting to see if he does try to do that. That would make for an interesting move, because that'll break up some of the pressure. And some of this, maybe if somebody can get in some open track space, maybe they can make up some time instead of fighting through traffic. Now, I'm watching right now, guys. Give it up for these guys in the back of the pack now. They're still battling. They're not worried. We have a great battle going on with Jason Dixon and Jason Scandalera. Also, Richard Elward and Martin Creamer's putting on quite the show for us here in, the battle for 11th and 12th, and, the battle for 10th and the battle for 12th going on really strong here all the way through the field. Great battles. Also, Still keep your eye on the leader. It's still Bo Cattell here on lap 9 of 30, but Curtis Chipaway very much in striking distance. He's a little bit further off the pace than he was a minute ago, but still right there with him.
Yeah, Bo Cattell got back in the V8 Supercar here not too long ago, and he struggled with it at first, but each week he's really gotten better and better and better, and now it seems like everything's really clicking with him. He has got some serious pace here at Montreal.
So we just had an incident here in the second split. Newcomer Brendan King was coming through the first half of the track. I'm not sure which turn he was at, but the rear end of the car snapped around on him, kind of like what you saw earlier today with the real V8 drivers up at Mount Panorama. Unfortunately, Simon Pitt was caught up in that. Simon Pitt, who was running third, is now back to 5th place with a bunch of front end damage. And we did have a train of about 4 cars right behind each other, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. That's kind of been split up because of an unfortunate incident with Brendan King spinning out right in front of everybody.
We just had Nigel Baines into the pits and Mark Anderson as well. So a couple takers on the early pit stop.
Yeah, guys, watching closely to see who makes it out first. It will be Nigel Baines. He is leaving hit box. Also, now here comes KRT driver leaving the box as well. And Richard Aylward decided to come down pit road as well, guys. He's taking a little bit longer now. He decides to get out of the box. So these 3 drivers have went ahead and made their planned stops. They're out of the way. They're the first takers. Be interesting to decide who decides to make that late pit stop. Coming down the long back stretch here, or that's what, like I said, that's what I like to call it. This long straightaway here is our leaders, and here comes Bo Cattell beautifully through the final chicane. Let's see if there's any other takers who decide to head down pit road here, and there is, guys. It's going to be Martin Carroll, followed by Michael Fulcher and Marlon McMullen. These 3 deciding to come down pit road, and now it's going to start a trend because here comes Sanjin Dalalik as well. Also, Dennis Gutierrez and Jason Dixon, and wait, there's more. Also, Jason Scandalera pitting here on lap 10. It seems like the thing to do. Well, I don't want to leave out Martin Creamers. He's making his way down as well. Let's see how these guys do in the pit stalls. Marlon McMullen with him getting the pole. He has pit stall number 1. That can be an advantage on the exit sometimes. Let's see. Looks like it's going to be Martin Carroll trying to edge out. It's going to be literally side by side down pit road exit. And Martin Carroll, beautiful job. They'll come out right in front of Nigel Baines on the path there. And a fantastic job by both Martin Carroll and KRT driver right behind him, Michael Fulcher. Fantastic pit stops.
That's going to leave this group of 4 cars still in the same pack fighting for position. So we got a great battle here for effectively that podium position. All 4 cars are battling for that 3rd place.
That is so fun. What a great battle on their hands between 4 drivers. And here comes, guys, our leader, Bo Cattell. And guess what? They're not going to do a split strategy here. Both drivers come down. Bo Cattell, Curtis Chipaway, both cars making their way down this extremely long pit road. And they're looking for those pit boxes. And this is going to be so fun, guys, to see which one of these guys makes it in or out of the box quicker. This is a humongous stop for Curtis Chipaway. All right, both cars literally identically stopping in the box at the same time. Let's find out who gets out quicker. This is going to be a fun race off of pit road, not only between these 2 drivers, but where they come out in relation to the other 4 that have just pitted. And here they come. Good stop from the Tag Pest Management crew as Bo Cattell gets the definite advantage, and he'll get a lot earlier exit there beside his opponent, Curtis Chipaway, who's going to come out and he's going to be at least 6 car lengths behind him as they leave pit road. So a big job there for Bo Cattell getting in and out of pit road with plenty of speed, and that's going to help him out tremendously to get a little bit of gap there so he can try to maintain this lead.
Marty Carroll's starting to pull away a little bit from Fulch back there in the 4th place. Just over a second now between Marty and Fulch. Nigel Baines 1.5 seconds back from Michael Fulcher. So although Marty Carroll's pulling away from Michael Fulcher, Nigel Baines is starting to fall off of Mike Fulcher's bumper a little bit. So Fulch is pulling away as well. Both these guys come out of the pits going a little bit faster.
Man, Marlon is putting the pressure on, boys. Nigel Baines right there has got to be feeling the heat as he has so much action right there on his tail through the hairpin. It looked like the cars were joined. Like there was a trailer hitch on the tailpipe there of Nigel Baines, and he was pulling the 2-time champ behind him. That was incredible. And Nigel Baines, you know, he keeps his cool, and I'm actually very impressed at how well Nigel's held himself together being under pressure this long. He looks really calm. Man, here they go again. Looks like Marlon McMullen going to try to make something happen. Nigel just moves up an inch. Oh, and a little bit of a tire off there from Marlon McMullen. That'll slow him up a hair. What an incredible run. Let's get this time, guys, at lap 13 of 30. And as we are almost to the halfway point, let's run over and check in with Jim Davey on split number 2. What's going on over there, Jim?
Well, I'm just shaking my head at the moment because everything I just said about pitch strategy and everything else, throw it out. Because we're on lap 13 and nobody's pitted yet. So
wow.
What do I know? Jay's inquired in your SDC Motorsports car. He's in the lead right now. He's led from the pole. He's led every lap. Katie Rose, Taranto, running second place, about 11 seconds behind. I mean, Jason's just in a league of his own at the moment. Rory Windrum's running third. Shane Rayner's fourth. Simon Pitt fifth. Michael Jeffrey sixth. Jared Sharp seventh. Andrew Wickham eighth. Peter Simons ninth. Bob Lanes 10th. Dean Flavel 11th. Brendan King is the last running car in 12th. Zachary Maynard and Daniel Royer are both out of the race, I believe. Oh, here we go. And of course, now that I said that, lap 13, a bunch of people are going to start pitting. Rory and Katie are both in the pits at the moment.
Well, right there, you hear the update from Jim. We'll check back with him in about 3 or 4 laps time just to see how those pit stops went. So I'm sure he'll keep us posted. Thanks, Jim. And back here in the top split, guys, Bo Cattell still out to a healthy lead up here on lap 14 of 30. Following behind him in about a second, a little over a second behind, is Curtis Chipaway. And that's almost
Curtis is reeling him in, though, because he was over 2 seconds back just a lap ago. So Curtis working hard to reel in Bo Cattell.
Kane on the inside right now. Marlon McMullen trying to make an outside work. Can the SDC? Oh, Marlon gets loose, and that's going to cost him the pass. He had it, and he was going around Nigel Baines, and he got loose coming out of the hairpin. But that was extremely fun to watch. Side by side now, going to go down the stretch here. And it looks like Marlon McMullen may have him this time. Let's find out through the chicane. Surely they both can't fit through, and they do. Somehow both cars make it through the chicane, and they're going to continue riding. Give it up for Nigel Baines, who maintains 5th position. Goodness gracious, buddy.
Yeah, this guy's having a heck of a race back there and for 5th place.
You would think this is for the championship between these two. What a race. And very clean considering. All right, let's see what happens right here. Marlin's going to try it again. They're heading into the second chicane. A beautiful pass by Marlon McMullen, and it looks like the Marlon McMullen of old. He comes in and makes a veteran move around Nigel Baines, and that'll finally put him up into that 5th place spot that he's been trying to get for so long, and now he finally gets it. And let's see if he stays with Nigel, or Nigel can hang with him, or if he starts to drive off and try to catch Fulch, who's up in 4th.
Yeah, 3.3 seconds back from Mike Fulcher, so we'll have to keep an eye on Marlon there, see if he can gain some of that time. 3.5 seconds is a lot of time to try to get back, but with half the race still left to do it, there is time.
Man, that's exactly right. Leader just started lap 16 moments ago, and speaking of the leader, things are looking pretty good for the moment, but like you said right before I cut you off there, buddy, I'm sorry, the battle was going. You're absolutely right. Curtis Chipaway has reeled in the leader a little bit, so now you got to think Bocatel has to be a little concerned, because here comes out extremely, well, at least on my screen, the bright green creation there from Curtis Chipaway with the purple chickens running down the sides.
Yeah, this week it's actually orange. I'm showing
What?
orange.
Okay, maybe you changed it from last night, because I know yesterday it was green.
Yeah, maybe I hadn't updated quite yet on mine. Ways paint creations, man, they are just incredible. I don't want him to get another team. I want him to stay like this so we can just see his paints.
Yeah, he and Marlon still working together and doing a great job. They both still got some great pace.
Yes, I do want to send out an apology really quick. I thought I had fixed the team names a couple weeks ago when I had updated the points for the teams, because Marlon and Curtis were both at the Power Mondego still, and they've actually both switched over to the Chicken Line Racing. That has been corrected now, so I just wanted to put that out there.
Excellent.
And right now I'm watching, everybody's pitted pretty much except for Shane Rayner down here. So he's taken over the lead. I've got to say, I think this is a huge error on his part, because everyone behind him is 2 to 3 seconds a lap faster on their newer tires than he is. So I think this is going to actually hurting Shane pretty badly when it comes time for him to actually pit. And he's on lap 16, he's about to start lap 17, he's still staying out. It looks like he's going to run the full tank and hope for the best, although he just almost lost it coming off of the final turn. It's certainly not going to help him. He's losing 2-3 seconds a lap. Really not sure what he was planning on here. He's going to have to do some magic here.
Back in the top split here, I want to touch back on Marlon McMullen, who is now 1.7 seconds down from Mike Fulcher in 4th. So he's gained about half that time back that he was that he was down from Mike Fulcher after he passed Nigel Baines in about 2 laps. So another couple laps here, if things continue as they are, we should see a big battle here between Marlon McMullen and Michael Fulcher.
That will be one heck of a battle as well. That would be very exciting.
Also want to mention now that Curtis has actually caught the bumper of Bocatel for that #1 spot, and we are seeing a great race up here at the front.
Look right now, guys, as they head towards that second chicane located right dab in the middle of this circuit. and it is a great spot for some action, as we saw earlier with Marlon McMullen pulling a crazy pass on Nigel Baines. Could we see something similar from Curtis Chipaway here, as he has put himself in prime real estate to make something happen here? He knows he has a lot of time to make a pass. He's not going to make a move this time. Let's see what happens. This seems like one of the best spots to try to make a move is down here towards the hairpin. Here he goes, guys, looking for daylight. He's going to try to make it on the outside. I don't know if that's the best move, but you never know with Kurt. Here he comes. He's going to get a little loose there, and he'll actually fall right on behind the tail of our leader, Bo Cattell, so he's still working on it. And now we got another battle brewing, guys, as back here Marlon McMullen now trying to catch Michael Fulcher, and he has caught him. It's going to be up for a fun battle between those two. Good job out of the hairpin, though, from Michael Fulcher to at least get a car length in between. Oh, now I got two good fights going on for position, having to flip back and forth. Here comes Curtis Chipaway again. He's trying to square back up and try to get side by side and perhaps make a move and go into the lead. That would be something else. Bo Cattell not going to go down without a fight. He looks extremely focused right now, not letting that bright car behind him get to him. He is staying on the task at hand, and that is winning here at Montreal. The Tag Pest Management car staying focused as they head down towards the second chicane here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and it's still just as close as ever, as here comes Curtis Chipaway on another run. Not close enough to make something happen. Let's see what happens as they head back down towards the hairpin. He tried it last time. What's he going to be able to do this time? I think he may be just too far behind. Of course, that's when things happen, is when you think that nothing can happen, and that's when guys start slipping. Well, guys, here it is on lap 19. I'm going to do a rundown of the top split real quick, and then we'll turn it over to second split and talk to Jim Davey real quick before we get ready for the final 10 laps here. And in the lead, it's still Bo Cattell here in your top split, with Curtis Chipaway closely in second. Back in third is Marty Carroll. And back in fourth place, it's Michael Fulcher. Marlon McMullen rounds out the top five. Nigel Baines in the sixth position, guys, with Mark Anderson in seventh. Back in eighth, it is Sanjin Delilac with Dennis Katerik in ninth. Jason Dixon rounds out our top 10. Jason Scandalera in 11th with Ryan Shelton in 12th. Martin Creamer's 13th, and 14th is Richard Elward. All 14 cars are on the lead lap here in the top split. Fantastic racing. Let's turn it over to Jim Davey in the second split. Jim, what you got?
Hey, thanks, JD. Jason Quire, the SDC Motorsports car, has taken over the lead. Everybody is pitted now. Katie Tarantos holding second, her privateer car. Say that, she got a little loose out of the hairpin. Right behind her, though, only by about 2.5 seconds, is Rory Windrum in the RSW Motorsports car. And then we have Shane Rayner running fifth in the Online Gamers car. His teammate Simon Pitt in the other Online Gamers cars behind him in fifth. Jared Sharp running sixth in this privateer scheme. Michael Jeffries seventh. Andrew Wickham running eighth. Those are all the cars on the lead lap. Peter Simons ninth, 1 lap down. Dean Flavel 10th, 4 laps down. Bob Lanes also 4 laps down, 11th. Zachary Maynard 7 laps down. Brendan King 11 laps down. Daniel Royer 16 laps down. Those last 3 are out of the race, I believe.
Wow, big stuff there from the second split. Go Katie. Sounds like she's having a good day.
Oh, I tell you, it's been great to watch. Actually, I'm wrong. Zach Maynard is still in the race. He just happens to be 7 laps down. But he will be able to gain a couple spots, I believe, because some people in front of him are no longer running, I don't think.
Wow, sounds like it's kind of exciting there. Things are looking good for Bo Cattell as he started to gain a little bit of that ground back that he had lost. He looks like he's starting to break a little bit away from Curtis, but as soon as I say that, It's about time for Kane to chirp in and tell us that I'm wrong, because I know surely Curtis is going to catch back up, right, buddy?
Yeah, he's lost a lot of pace here the last couple laps. He's now 2.5 off the bumper of Bocatel, so that's a lot of space to have lost in this short time. Another driver that's lost, Marlon McMullen. He was there on the bumper of Mike Fulcher, but he slipped off, and now he's in the battle of his life with Nigel Baines, who's caught back up to the back of him. So Marlon, another driver who's lost pace. So both Curtis and Marlon struggling to keep that battle going.
Yeah, we lost one battle but gained another one right here, buddy, with Marlon McMullen and Nigel Baines again, and now it's redemption time for SDC Motorsports driver Nigel Baines. He is right on the rear of Marlon McMullen, and he is not worried about any credentials or anything. He is ready to make his move. He is right in striking distance, and as they come up on the final chicane here, it's going to be fun to see if Nigel Baines decides to try something here. It's going to be the start of lap number 22 as the guys cross the start-finish line, and this means we only have about 8 laps remaining here at Montreal in a big race this week. What a fun day. We've only seen one slowdown that I know about, and that was from Marlon McMullen near the start of the race, guys. He was on the pole and looking very dominant for a short moment, and then boom, all of a sudden, just like that, he fell back to 5th. He has worked his way, he fell back to 7th, I believe, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, 7th place, and he has worked his way all the way back up to 5th. Good job from Marlon McMullen, and now he's in danger of losing that 5th spot to Nigel Baines. All right, here comes Curtis Chipaway again, guys. Here, he's starting to gain some of that back. What you got, Kane?
Oh, I was just gonna say, a driver that's looking really good tonight, Marty Carroll. He's in that 3rd spot. He's got great pace, driving good and clear.
Let's jump on board with him.
He's pulled away almost 4 seconds now from Mike Fulch back behind him. And he's just kind of in a spot there, just having his own race.
And here he is. I think we should, like I said, just jump on board with him. He's going to show us a beautiful lap here. He doesn't know we're on board with him, so that's what makes it even better here. Marty Carroll, you see him starting the lap here, heading through turns 1 and 2, and very difficult 1 and 2 turns. You got to be really careful not to get that rear wheel spin out of turn 2. Ease on the accelerator and all the way down here into turn 3. Use every bit of that curb that is provided. Be careful not to hit the wall. You got to use all the exit curb, and then hug the inside wall. And as soon as you hit the brakes, you have to go right up, use that curb again. And you see how easy it is to get off tracks or even corner cuts here. And we haven't even hit but one chicane. Here comes the second one off this short straightaway. And boom, hard on, and wash every bit of that speed off over both bumps that are provided through the chicane, all the way out to the exit wall, or the exit curb, excuse me, there by the retaining wall, all the way flat out, and then boom, wash every bit of speed off as you go through the famous hairpin turn here at Montreal, now down to this long straightaway. Get as much speed as you can. Careful not to spin the wheels out of the hairpin as you're usually in a low, trying to get things eased back on. And here, full speed, all the way up to 170 miles per hour, washing every bit of speed you can off before hitting into this final chicane at a super fast speed through there for a chicane. And then back as fast as you can on the accelerator to cross the start-finish line. And we're starting lap 24. Good lap from Marty Carroll there. That was a 138.36, guys.
We've had bad news here in the second split.
Fill us in, brother. What happened?
Our favorite driver, Katie Taranto, right after I got finished talking about it, going through the first chicane, coming out of the second part of it, smacked the wall, meatball. She is in the pits right now. She was in second.
Oh no, tough break there, and we hate to hear that. She had such a good run going, and man, that is just tough to hear.
It is. Right now I'm watching actually a great battle between Michael Jeffries and Andrew Wickham. Oh, they're going side by side through the hairpin. They're trying to get the power down. They're both sideways coming out. This is great stuff. They're both a lap down, but they don't care. They're 6th and 7th right now. They're fighting like it's a championship.
Well, and they are. They're going to fight like crazy because those are the positions that they can get or lose. Of all the
Exactly.
positions on the track, that's the only one that he can get right there. And then so the one that's in 6th has got to protect it. So that's the only battle that they can have.
My goodness, Andrew Wickham was sideways again coming out of the final chicane. This is a great fight here. I'm watching it. I'm loving it. Well, I got to tell you, Andrew Wickham is just abusing his tires at the moment. Michael Jeffries just, if he just sits back and waits for it to come to him, it will. That's what it's looking like right now. And meanwhile, Jason Quires is of his own at the moment. He is lapped all the way up to 4th place. Simon Pitt's the last driver on the lead lap, and he's a minute down.
Sounds like some great action going on back there in the second split.
It is. I tell you, if we'd had a bigger turnout today, he might have been up there in the top split with you all.
Yeah, a relatively small top split today with only 14 drivers, so Montreal.
This is one of those tracks that people just love to hate. It's never a really popular track. I mean, everyone says they love it, but it's not really a touring car kind of track. It's more of a downforce track, really, with all these slow speed corners. Oh, side by side going to the hairpin again. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm not sure how that did not just end in tears. Andrew Wickham was sideways, pointed at Michael Jeffries while they were coming out of the corner.
Guys, things are starting to heat up again here in the top split. Bo Cattell has company. Curtis Chipaway back there in striking distance. Also, Marlon McMullen found his way back up to the KRT machine of Michael Fulcher and almost makes a move around him, and he'll have to tuck back in behind him as they just went through the hairpin. We got some battles that are back on here in the top split. And here on lap 25 of 30, we only have about 5 laps to go, as our leader just has crossed the finish line, through turns 1 and 2, and he is hanging on for dear life because Curtis Chipaway has found some refound glory, boys. He is right there with him.
Yeah, it might have been he just abused his tires a little bit early and had to let him cool off and come back to him.
And we see that a lot with the VA Supercar. If you get a little aggressive, abuse the tires, get them a little heated up, they can get a little greasy on you. But if you take a couple laps, let them cool down, you'll get some of that back. You'll get some grip back, and then you can mount another charge. And that's what we're seeing here with Curtis. Is he's now starting to mount another charge. He's not gained much in the last, I'd say, lap and a half. He's still right there at the 1 second behind mark, but he's not letting Bo Cattell go. He's staying with him so that in these closing laps he can mount that battle. But a little further back, and for that battle for 4th place, Marlon McMullen, same story. He's not letting folks get away. He's less than half a second behind now, and he's putting some serious pressure on Michael Fulcher.
Oh, he's on the bumper. Here he comes. He's going to try to go to the inside of him, not finding the room he needs. And what's interesting is they're going to be coming up on some lap traffic. Looks like Martin Creamer's ahead of them. So that is going to be fun to watch. Martin Creamer's now is our only car that's not on the lead lap. He is just now with 2 laps down. So a little bit of trouble for Martin Creamer's. And both cars right there I thought might have been a little bit close to getting a slowdown there. They really got both cars completely left the track and used all of that curb, and that looks like they didn't get the slowdown, but they are right there together. Maybe a little nudge from Marlon McMullen there just to let him know he's right there. Says, hey bud, I'm right here on lap 27. You got to either go or get out the way. These two are going at it. And this isn't for a little bitty position, boys and girls. This is for 4th place. big battle going on right now. Marlon lets him know he's there again, heading out again through these tight turns, guys. Interesting what's going to happen as they head down towards this middle chicane. And here they come down this straightaway here. And it's going to be as they get up to over 150 miles an hour, then get on the brakes, down into the chicane. It's a beautiful job from both drivers who make it through exactly how they went in. Still almost no space between the two cars, and Michael Fulcher finally gets a hair of breathing room, but as soon as he does, here comes Marlon McMullen again through the hairpin, and they're going to come out identically as they did before. This just doesn't get any better. They're still right there with each other.
Yeah, Michael Fulcher doing a great job to show Marlon McMullen it's one thing to catch me, but getting around me is a little bit harder to do than what you think, because Michael Fulcher's got some great pace as well.
Leader is on lap 28 of 30, guys. This
Something happened. Something happened to Fulch.
Slowed down for Michael Fulcher, and that will cost him 2 positions.
No, it was worse than that, I thought. It looked like he had lost some control or something, the way he kind of bounced into the wall and stuff. I'm sure he got to slow down, but I don't know. That was just strange.
Maybe a little replay will fix that. I'm looking to see and maybe listen. And I think that it was a slowdown that got him. I don't know if I'm going to go on his cockpit view and look at this real quick, buddy. And we'll just take a little look here. Well, if I could control, right? Yes, he brushed up against the wall, and but he definitely got a slowdown through the chicane. Because he had already slowed up. So interesting for Michael Fulcher there. Not what he wanted, boys.
No, tough break for Mike Fulcher. He was doing such a great job in that battle. Anytime you can stay ahead of Marlon McMullen like that, whenever Marlon's putting on that kind of pressure, you know you're doing a fantastic job.
Man, that was something else.
Now the next battle we got on the field, Dennis Katerik in 8th. We got Jason Dickinson in the 9th place, putting some pressure on Dennis for that 8th place position.
Yeah, Jason Dixon right there, well within striking distance. He just needs to get a little bit more mojo working, and you'll have Dennis Katerik in shambles here. And Dennis knows it, so he's pushing as hard as he can to keep anything like that from happening. And in the meantime, while all that's going on, guys, we have to just give you a quick update on our leader. Bo Cattell right now has a nice sized lead over Curtis Chipaway. He's on lap number 29 of 30. The white flag will be waving this time by.
Yeah, Bo's done a great job here today. He's come out, he's kept the car clean, he's managed to stay ahead of hard charging Curtis Chipaway, and eventually I think Curtis may have wore the car out a little bit, and that Bo's been allowed to pull away, and he's got well over a 2-second gap now.
That really is one of the dangers of hitting so early in these races. If you go out and attack immediately, you just have nothing left at the end. We were saying earlier, their tires are falling off after 18 laps, and they're doing 20 laps for their second part of the race.
And I think Curtis might have been hit with a slowdown as well, because he's 3 seconds down now, and he had been at about that 1 second mark, so he might have got hit with a slowdown.
Definitely looks that way. And Jason Dixon now trying real hard there to catch Dennis Katerik as the white flag is out for our leader, Bo Cattell now. And he is on our final lap now. And looks very promising right now for the Tag Pest Management machine, as he is in the lead as he gets through turns 1 and 2 and 3 now. And he is on his way to a victory if nothing catastrophic happens.
we had a couple of great battles here today, but all in all, it was a good, clean race.
Yeah, very clean, especially for Montreal, a track that has been known to get a little dicey. And here it is for the final time today. The guys will make their way around the famous hairpin. Our leader makes his way around. A little bit of wheel spin through the final turn there. Now Curtis Chipaway and Marty Carroll. Marty made a good run at it at the end as well. Your podium making its way down the final straightaway as we speak. Leader Bo Cattell, all he has to do is make sure he doesn't cut any corners here on this final chicane. All looks well through the final turn, and your winner here at Montreal, Bo Cattell. Fantastic run from the Tag Pest Management Machine. Curtis Chipaway does make it across second, and rounding out our podium, it will be in the Carnival Candy Machine. Also, good friend Marty Carroll. Good job by him. Marlon McMullen should take fourth place, guys. He does. Nigel Baines closely in fifth. Then Michael Fulcher coming in sixth. Mark Anderson, his teammate, crosses the line in seventh. And Dennis Katarek will win out of that battle between him and Jason Dixon. Jason finishes ninth, and Jason Scandalera will round out our top 10. Ryan Shelton will finish 11th, with Richard Elward finishing 12th. He finished one lap down, as well as Martin Creamers, who finished 13th, and Sanjan Delilac. I missed this, boys. Sorry, I didn't know that Sanjan was out of the race. He finished 4 laps down, so with all the excitement there, we missed what happened to Sanjan. So tough break for Sanjan there to fall down, and he finished 4 laps down. Well, boys, that was a really good race.
Yeah, it was. That was very eventful. The couple battles that we had on the field tonight was about as good as you could ask for.
Let's go in real quick. I know that we've had our excitement over here in the top split, and big race there from all the guys, really, but a big win from Bo Cattell. Let's go over and check in with our second split reporter, Jim Davey, and find out what's happening with him.
Hey, JD. So Jason Quire has crossed the line, first place, led from pole. I'm pretty sure we're going to find out he had the fastest lap once the results get posted. Did not lead every lap, however, with some people staying out a lot longer than was expected. So Jason Quire, our SDC Motorsports driver, is the winner. Rory Windrum came in second, Shane Rayner third, Simon Pitt fourth, and that is the end of our lead lap cars. Andrew Wickham ended up fifth, Michael Jeffrey sixth. That was a pretty good battle. Right after we got finished talking about it earlier, Katie Taranto came flying in. Elbows out, everything else. It was a 4-way battle between Andrew, Michael Jeffries, Katie Taranto, and Jared Sharp. Jared kind of tried to push Katie out of the way. She put the elbows out, said, "I'm not having any of it." Katie was able to muster her way back up to 7th place. Peter Simons 8th, Jared Sharp 9th, Dean Flavel 10th, Bob Lanes 11th, Zachary Maynard 12th, and Brendan King, Daniel Royer 13th and 14th. Those were the only 2 retirements. Everybody else stuck it out, did the best they could, and it was a pretty good race.
Yeah, man, sounds like it was a big race over there in the second split. And congrats over there to the winner. SDC Motorsport driver having a big day there in the second split. And we saw some of the guys that normally show up in the second split over here in our top split today, and they performed very well, I thought. Some familiar names I'm sure that you know of, Jim, as guys like Dennis Katarek and just had a fantastic day over there. Also, guys that normally are over there in the second split, Jason Scandalera, Jason Dixon, who's been winning a good bit in the second split, did very well today here in the top split. Jason Dixon coming in with a 9th place finish, and then also Dennis Katarek, who finished in 8th place. So great finishes from both of those guys.
So how about a big "I told you so" when they finally made it up to the top split?
Absolutely, and that is correct, and that is what's so fun, guys, about keeping up with who is doing what in the second split. It really has a lot of meaning because these are the future of our series, and that is exactly what we just saw just a moment ago. And I'll go ahead and bring him in. We got our race winner who just walked into the race channel, so I'm going to bring him in without further ado for some post-race comments. Let's bring Bo in now. Bo, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. Congrats on a beautiful drive out there and a victory.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back on the top step. It's been a while.
That's something we kind of mentioned. We didn't stretch out on it too much in the show, but Kane did bring it up. Talked about how lately you've really been improving back, getting back on top of things, and looking really good in the V8. And that's what you've been really shooting for. So we're excited to see that. I know it's got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Like I said, it's the new tire model really threw me, and sort of just laps and laps and laps and changing my driving style, and finally it's starting to pay off. But now the new car will come out, and I'll have to start again.
As we all will. I think this is one time we won't mind starting over. I'm really excited about the new car. But I tell you what, a win today, man. It really looked good out there. What was it like there with Curtis coming up on you like that? Several times you and him got in great battles, but each time you found a way to kind of drive away from him there.
Yeah, it was definitely a case of Curtis keeping me honest. It was just trying to not look in the mirror and look after the tyres, and that's something I don't often have an opportunity to do, but got into the lead early, so just really nursed the tyres, and I think out of those, out of the hairpin and the tighter corners, that's probably where I had the edge over Curtis. So he might have been using his up, trying to get me.
Absolutely, buddy. And this season has went on nicely. And let's see, we've headed some big tracks here over the past week or so. We only have a few weeks left until our season is complete, my man. It's so good to have you over here in the Americas series. Next week we will be on to our final week at Phillip Island, and that's going to be super exciting. I hope to see you back up here, and hopefully with the same result.
Yeah, hopefully I'll put in some practice, and yeah, hopefully it can be somewhere near the pointy. And thanks heaps, guys.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. It always is a pleasure to have you here, Bo. We're big fans, man. You just keep doing what you're doing. Hang tight with us, man. We got tons to talk with.
Will do. Thanks for the broadcast.
Absolutely. That is Bo Cattell, everybody. We got more to talk, more from him shortly as our winner today at Montreal. Let's bring in the guy that battled with Bo Cattell for the majority of the race, and that was Curtis Chipaway. Fantastic run from him. Curtis, welcome to the Get Dirty MX show. How is things going?
I'm doing great, JD. That was a killer of a race.
Man, that was all kinds of exciting and more. I just kind of tell me about it. Just give me just an overhead of how it was like trying to chase down the man right there, Bo Cattell.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. When I was catching him at the start of the second stint there, I thought I could have something at the end, but he's just faster on those old tires. Couldn't keep up.
Yeah, he was something else, man. But you were too, and that's one thing we talked about with Bo was it seemed like every time that you would kind of catch up to him, something would happen and put a little bit more space in between you guys. But more than me being impressed of him being able to drive away was the fact of you kind of being able to not ever go away. There was times when I thought that maybe that battle was done and that you had fallen back to the point of no return. And lo and behold, a lap or two later, here you were back in another fighting position for the lead. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was. I think some of it had to do with he was doing a little mistakes, and my car felt great. It was nice and consistent, and especially that first stint. So I could easily keep up with him. I just having trouble get by him.
and that happens. I mean, it's such a tough track, and the slowdowns can be devastational to anybody. I mean, we saw it happen on the first lap to our leader, Marlon McMullen, who we're going to bring in just a second. But just a great job out there on the track today, Curtis. I thought you had a wonderful performance.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with it. The only thing that could have gone better was get first, but quite happy with second. It was a great week.
Absolutely, buddy. You deserved a podium finish, man. Congratulations. All right, guys, without further ado, let's bring in the guy that did start on the pole today. Fantastic run. Marlon McMullen, two-time America's champion. Welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. How are you, Marlon?
G'day, guys. How are we?
Oh, doing fantastic, buddy. Started on the pole today and got off to a great start, and then it looked like we had us a little bit of a slowdown penalty, and that actually was pretty devastational. It threw you down to 7th position, but it was not the end of your story today, buddy. Great fight, passing guys like Nigel Baines, Michael Fulcher, and putting yourself up into the finish in the 4th position. I thought that was a great run and a great recovery. Tell me a little bit about what happened there with that slowdown.
Yeah, cheers for that. I went to the race and think I'd put it on pole. I mean, it's been quite a awkward season for me, so it was pretty nice, popping on pole. And not sure if everyone else was watching Bathurst, but I'll take one. Pretty rare to get these days. But went to the race, didn't do too much race preparation really, and I was driving it pretty easy on the first lap just to sort of get the tyre pressures up and avoid that understeer and sort of sailing off the track. And unfortunately, I just went a little bit too slow and missed my brake marker, or braked a little bit earlier, and just cut it that 1 inch too fine. And after that it was just a bit of pandemonium on that first lap. Got a little bit of a nudge to tail action, and threw me back to 7th. It was like a 20-second penalty for like a little minor mistake. But what can you do from a head down and try to chase after the rest of the field? And had some really good battles with Nigel, and it was a really good battle with Fulcher as well at the end. And just slowly getting comfortable with the car now.
Oh yeah, man, fantastic job. And it seems like you're getting more comfortable with this car and this tire model. It's fun to see, and it seems like each week you're finding yourself getting better and better. And I know that we're going into our final week of the season next week at Phillip Island, a track that you've had some success at in the past, and I'm sure you're looking forward to finishing up the season there next week.
Yeah, it'd be nice to go back to Phillip Island. I mean, I've had some terrible runs as well. I mean, pretty notorious bad runs, but otherwise than that, it's nice to find some form again lately and have some really good battles with some, really outstanding drivers in the series, that I respect so much. So, it's really good to find some form again.
Fantastic, buddy. Well, thanks a lot for coming and having a chat with us. Hang tight. As you know, we got tons to talk about tonight, especially with the season into next week. Thanks a lot for coming in and having that chat with us, and we'll talk to you again real soon in the group discussion.
Cheers. Thanks for that, guys.
Thank you. That is Marlon McMullen, everybody, and a fantastic run from him tonight. Let's bring in the third guy that was on the podium tonight, STC Motorsports' own Marty Carroll. Marty, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and you?
Man, I'm doing wonderful, buddy. A great race tonight and a fantastic performance. We probably didn't get the camera time that you deserved tonight. We did get a good online or a good onboard lap with you. But fantastic run tonight as we started tonight in 3rd place, and that's where we ultimately ended up. A great podium run, and I just thought it was well deserved, man. A great run. At times you looked like nothing could bother you, and just went out there and ran your race, and I thought you just put a great performance down, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the simpit.com, BA2 Fans New Zealand, and Carnival Candy for all their support. But it's definitely just reward for SDC Motorsports and the Alliance Racing Group as a whole. Just week in, week out now, we're seeing the results. Chad sends his regards. He wished he could have been here today, but it's just. I had a pretty ordinary start. Bogged it down on the start and got caught up in a bit of slower traffic there for a little bit. It was unfortunate Marlon got that slow down, and he looked like he had plenty of pace. So I knew Curtis would have had the pace there to run with Bo. Yeah, and I had the race pace to have something for them if I could have got to them. But once they put that gap on me, they were just a bit quicker earlier in the stints. And but all in all, if I'm not getting a lot of broadcast time, it means I'm having a good race and not doing anything silly.
Heard that, buddy. Well, I thought it was a great performance. We look forward to seeing the run next week, Marty. You've just done unbelievable things this season with improving in the car, kind of getting back to the way that I know that you feel, the way that you feel you should be driving in the car, and it's got to be making you feel happy. We look forward to seeing your final races this season next week from Phillip Island, buddy.
Put in, as the guys know, if you want to be pushing towards the front, you've got to be putting in the time and effort. And yeah, that's paying off with good rewards. And thank you again, JD and Kane, for an awesome broadcast.
Absolutely, buddy. Hang tight as we got plenty to talk about tonight with the conclusion of the season coming up. Let's bring in Michael Fulcher from Kamikaze Race Team. Michael's had a fantastic season as well. And let's bring him in. Like I said, Michael, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. How's things going for you this afternoon?
G'day, JD. Yeah, not too bad, mate. A little bit disappointed in that slowdown with 3 to go. But yeah, not a bad result.
Yeah, it's not a bad result, and I understand where you're coming from. A starting position in on the outside grid there, starting in second position, and working hard. Slow down penalty kind of catches you a little bit off guard there, and throws you back a few positions. But all in all, 6th place finish still produces some pretty decent points on a week that a lot of drivers didn't make the race. So that is valuable, and you kind of just have to, look at it as a positive and not as a negative. I know that you're looking for a better result, but all in all, still a great result, man. Sixth place finish after what happened. I think that's something to walk out of here with as a positive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got good qualifying pace. I just can't seem to be turning it into race pace. Now, to make the car faster, I'm going to have to take it well out of the comfort zone. Which I guess I'm going to have to do if I want some more pace out of that race car. It was really stable the whole way. So, I never felt like I was going to bin it at all. But yeah, I'm just going to have to step it out of the comfort zone to squeeze a little bit more out of it, I think.
Absolutely. And is that the kind of the direction you're going to take things heading into the final week of the season, is try to push a little bit more aggressive next week, or are we going to be a little more conservative going into that final run?
Well, I played it conservative today, and yeah, I think it was probably a mistake. So I'll be tweaking the heck out of this thing, trying to turn it into the rocket ship that it potentially could be.
And that is what every broadcaster in the world wants to hear, man. Fantastic.
Good stuff.
Well,
yes,
thanks.
I'd just like to thank our sponsors, Next Level Racing, who've just come on board, and yeah, really looking forward to the new liveries. Maybe for the last round this season, but at latest, definitely for first round next season, we'll have new liveries for those guys, which will be good.
Man, that's awesome, buddy. Congrats on a great run tonight, and we're going to wish you the best of luck next week as we close out our season from Phillip Island, man. Hang tight. We got tons to talk about, Michael.
Sure. Thanks, mate.
Absolutely. Let's bring in next, think which Jason is going to be. Jason Dixon. I think it's this one right here, so we're about to find out. That's for sure. Jason, welcome to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. How's things going, man?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Fantastic run out there today. Let's see, we started out in the 7th spot on the grid and fought real hard and ended up with a 9th place finish. Tell me a little bit about it.
Didn't get the best of starts. We're going side by side with Dennis for probably the first 4 or 5 corners, and we made the slightest of contact, and he gave me bent steering for the whole race. Then I got 2 short track cuts when I didn't even get the 1X. So that was annoying, but from then on, it was a pretty good, steady race. Slowly catching the people in front of me, but didn't quite have enough time.
Man, That was something else to be driving around there with some off handling steering. That's got to be tough.
Yeah, it was. It was just that initial turning that I lost. Exit was still fine, but it was just that entry understeer is a real pain at this track if you have it.
Yeah, no, understeering can be killer here. Did you have any trouble with any slowdowns?
Yeah, I caught two early on and it cost me 10 seconds pretty much.
Yeah, those are definitely killer here, and we saw them mess with more than just one driver. We saw it with several drivers today, and that's just part of Montreal. Everybody knows when they come to this track, it's kind of something that's to be expected, but it sure can kill a race.
Yeah, it was damn fun. I was stuck behind Dennis at the end, but I couldn't get past him. Every time I got close, my braking went really weird, which I'm not sure what was going on there with my setup. Could be the bent steering, I'm not sure.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, I'll tell you what, jumping up here in the top split this week, perform like you've been here before a million times. Fantastic run, Jason. Just congratulations, man. Top 10 finish in the top split. Everybody could be over there, I guess, watching Bathurst. You guys came and decided to run for a little bit. And hang tight with us. We got tons to talk about, buddy, but congratulations. Great performance.
Thanks, JD.
And that is Jason Dixon, everybody. Fantastic performance. Now let's interview the guy, our winner tonight in the second split. I want everybody to welcome Jason Quire to the Get Dirty MX post-race show. Jason, how are you?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Oh, man, doing pretty good from what I hear. You're not doing bad at all. A first place finish tonight, winner of second split. Tell us about it.
There's not too much to tell, really. I started on pole, I think, and yeah, finished first.
It's about as simple as it gets, man. A start on pole and finish first. So that makes it sound a lot easier than it was, I'm sure.
There was a lot of clear space, so
a lot of open room to run. So it's just like out there running practice laps, huh?
yeah, exactly.
Man, that's what's up. And also looks like you got the fastest lap of the race as well, man.
Yeah, that's always good, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Sounds like it's about time maybe to slide up in that top split and come up here and see how things run for you up here.
Yeah, I hope to be up there soon. I just got to get my I rating up a little bit, I think, and yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, you keep performing like that, it won't be long at all. You'll be up here representing with the best of the best here in the Americas, and that is exactly what we want to see. We love watching the new talent come in and come up, and but congratulations on a job well done there in the second split tonight, and keep up the good work.
Cheers, mate. Can I just thank SDC, the Simpit, and the Alliance?
Oh, absolutely, buddy. Fantastic performance. And now that we got everybody in here tonight, we can take over to the second part of our show tonight on the Get Dirty MX Post Race Show. Also want to welcome back Jim Davey and, of course, my good friend Kane Kraft as we get ready for our group discussions with everybody tonight. Guys, it's been a fantastic run so far, and this could be, and this, I think we can quit saying could. We pretty much know this, don't we, boys, that next week will be our final race officially in the Americas in this car. And not only that, in the Ford for a while. So looks like the Ford fans are going to really have to treasure this final run.
For a while. We'll get the Ford. You know, before long, we'll have both cars in here having a great Ford versus Holden battle. At least we'll have one going here on iRacing.
Eventually.
I got to tell a story real quick about a gentleman that I met today. Met a guy this afternoon, and he may be watching the broadcast. I'm not sure. And I won't mention his name just for the sake of that. But I met a gentleman this afternoon on iRacing in another race. We were in a completely different series, and we were actually out there racing on the track, and it was just got to chatting, and we got to talking about driving, and I noticed that he was from Australia, and I asked him if he drove in the V8 series, and he said, nope, never stepped a foot in it, and I never will as long as there's a damn Ford in there. That was his word. Um, so until they get a Holden, he will not be able to step foot. He swore that he would never drive a Ford, and so he has kept that promise true. But as soon as the Holdens get here, he plans on joining the this series. I just hope that our Ford fans don't do that and decide to not drive in a Holden. Is it that serious over there in Australia, guys?
Yeah, pretty much. But I might not be around next season as I have to wait for the internet to be connected at my new house, unfortunately. But yeah, no, I'll still grab the Holden, just to have it. Not that I'm much of a Holden fan, but you've got to have these cars.
That's right, buddy. I'm with you. It's no secret. I'm a big Ford fan. And, but I am excited that the Holden is coming. I will buy one and I will own one because I'm not going to go without driving the V8 Supercar for a season or two just for a name brand. I will, I'll enjoy the Holden for what it is, and I'll just kind of look at it subconsciously as a opportunity to drive the enemy, I guess.
Well, and you don't want to lose that competitive edge that if you decide not to drive it just because of the sticker on the front of it, then you're going to lose a lot of time in the car that your competitors will be getting, and that could mean a lot come championship time.
Oh, absolutely. And we know already that those cars, or I hope that I'm right in saying this, they will have the exact same physics. Am I right?
They will.
So yeah, it's your. You can just look at it as practicing for when the Ford does arrive, and so it's going to be fun. And to be honest with you, I think it's a. I don't know if iRacing did it as a marketing idea, but if they did, I'm sure they had to. That's a great marketing idea. That way, it gets people to buy both cars. I mean, just straight up. Um, you release one and then release the other. Fans are going to end up buying both cars. Not all of them. Some will wait, but. I'm super excited, guys. I'm excited about Phillip Island next week. It's going to be a great end of the season. And does anybody have the points available or around?
I didn't grab them this week. I didn't have time. I come in just a little too late. But while we're on the subject of
Sure,
the
I'll do it
Holden, I do want to show the video that iRacing released just here recently of the VF Holden. So let me bring that on, and we can, while that's playing, I can go track down the points.
All right. Can we post the link in the broadcast thing down here so the guys that are can watch it if they want to with us?
Yeah, they can bring up the broadcast. It'll be playing.
That is a good idea, but I don't know why I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, and the
Kane
Holden
always
versus Ford
so full of
rivalry
simple.
at this time of year, you gotta understand it's like religion here in Australia. So come this time tomorrow, if you'll be wearing red or blue, that's all that matters. So it's the end of our footy season's over now, and now we head to the great race at the mountains. So I hope any of the American boys can grab a live stream. I'm not sure whether you get it on your networks over there live tomorrow. You definitely don't want to miss it. It's 6 hours of stubbies and barbecue and Holden versus Ford rivalry.
Yeah, I will definitely be. I'm surprised that I didn't get it at the last one. Usually I get it at the first Enduro. I buy the Enduro Pass, but I'll definitely be buying the Enduro Pass probably as soon as we get done here.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So the bit of breaking news that Garth Tander is out in the top 10 shootout this afternoon, and looks like the HRT car will be out for the race after a big crash this morning in warm-up with Warren Luff at the wheel, and he also took out the Triple Eight car with Craig Lambs behind the wheel.
Wow. And guys, I don't know if y'all are watching this video. This is the first time that I've seen this video, and this car is beautiful.
Oh, it is. That was such a beautiful car.
I mean, it is absolutely stunning. The interior looks unbelievable. The exterior is breathtaking. The options that we're going to be having as painters is going to be unbelievable. I've heard a rumor that the paint template is not difficult like the present template we have for the Ford. It is actually been simplified. We can paint the windshield banner, the top banner, the rear banner, the headlight covers, the everything on the car you can imagine, the wheels. We will be able to paint and fully customize. And when you talk about sponsors, no longer will you have to put all your sponsors in the places. We can put sponsors on headlight covers, on banners, and it's going to be huge, guys. This is a big opportunity, and it is just going to bring a new look to our series, and I just am so excited. I know it's been a subject of a lot of our shows this season, but it's when you got to admit it's a huge thing and a big game changer in our series.
Like I say, I can't wait for the painters to get their hands on it because pretty much anything's going to be an improvement over that iRacing demo paint scheme they have.
Yes.
I'll be running a Ford scheme on it.
And
Ford Chicken Line Racing.
Yeah.
and that's okay. I mean, that's one thing that a lot of the guys know. When I'm not running my team paint, I will throw on my Lockwood paint, and it is a Holden paint, and I'm a Ford fan, but I like that. I just like that paint, so I put it on my Ford, and so now since I have to drive a Holden, I'll throw the right paint on the right car, and then when I finally get my new updated Ford, I'll get a rightfully Ford paint and put it on the proper car.
And we've seen drivers do that. You know, since all we've had is a Ford, we've seen that's how some drivers have made themselves be able to get into it by painting it up like a Holden. So I'm sure we'll see that a lot as the Holden becomes the only car there for season 4.
But as an American, I do understand the awkwardness of it, because when I see a Jeff Gordon paint on a Ford Fusion, it drives me nuts. So I do.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
I understand that. Yes, I understand the frustration of it, and just know, gentlemen, it is almost over. So we can rejoice at last. I am excited though that we're getting just the car of the future model. That is exciting over any name brand to me.
Yeah, and credit to iRacing too. Like, it's been highly anticipated, but it's been talked about for a long time. With iRacing have implemented a lot of good stuff over the last 12 months. They've also got driver swaps coming in as well. So, if any of the iRacing guys are out there watching, I'd like to thank them for finally getting around to it, and it's definitely going to bring another element to not only our series here in the Americas, but the official series and the Premier series that you guys broadcast. So it's just going to bring that, that raw rivalry that all us red-blooded Australians are born with.
Until Ford pulls out next year.
And that is going to be a beautiful thing, Marty. It is exciting, and I think that's something that as a community they don't do enough is thank iRacing for the work that they do. And I mean, this is the best simulator out there. You try to show me a better simulator that's out for the public, and once you let me know, I mean, I'm open to suggestions. I mean, you show it to me, I'll try it out. But as far as I know right now, there ain't nothing out there better than iRacing, and it is literally gets 100% of my sim racing time, and as well as it should. It deserves it. It is absolutely stunning, and these guys do a fantastic job with this service, and I am so excited to try driver swaps that I can't wait. As a lot of you guys know, just got my new pedals, and I've been on iRacing more this week than I have been probably in the last 6 months as far as driving goes, and that is not an exaggeration. No, Marty probably knows that. He's seen me on a good bit, but it's just I've been on every day for several hours each day, and I have just enjoyed the heck out of it, and super excited about what's to come, guys.
I'll definitely have you in the training center during week 13, JD. So.
Yes, sir, and I am ready. So. I'll be getting ready, my friend, and it's going to be as soon as that car is released, as promised. I told you, as soon as we had the new car, I would have things that are ready for it, and that's exactly where we're at, buddy. So I'm excited. Anybody else got any big news or anything around the rumor mill or that's churning or anything on their mind they want to talk about, get off their chest, or share?
I just wanted to thank Kane for providing you with those pedals so we can improve you on track.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is something else. And Kane and me are gonna have a good time next weekend as me and him head off to Talladega to watch some NASCAR racing, and so that is going to be quite fun.
Nothing like a crapshoot to see who gets into the chase.
That's right. Yeah, it is exactly what it is going to be. It's a crapshoot race to see who makes it. And that is so crazy. I can't believe not iRacing, that NASCAR did that. That is the way they set this up has been exciting, very exciting.
Well, that's one way to describe it.
Yeah, I like it. I really do. So far, I like it, and I think that I really do. I think once we get down to the final race, and there's going to be more people that watch Homestead this year than have watched Homestead ever, and that reason why is because of that Super Bowl atmosphere, that one race, win it or go home atmosphere, and that is something that NASCAR has lacked, except for on very few occasions. And even when you had two close drivers, it always ended up being like, for example, Jimmy Johnson would have to finish 18th or worse to even have a chance at losing, and then the second place guy would have to win, and Jimmy would have to get 30th or something for it to matter. So it was always you always pretty much knew who was going to win the championship. And this time you got four guys going into it that can win it, and anybody can keep up with it. You don't have to have a points calculator to figure it out. Whoever finishes the highest out of those four guys is your NASCAR Sprint Cup champion. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to provide excitement that has never been seen in auto sports racing as far as in NASCAR. And that is going to literally change NASCAR. Maybe not this year, but I think that once this system gets established and we go on a generation, this will change the view of NASCAR. I think this is a huge move by NASCAR. I think it is going to be something that I've had to get adjusted to. But the problem with NASCAR has been they have changed things so much lately trying to find the right formula that I think they just need to stick with what they have. And I think that the fruits of their benefits will be harvested. And that is exactly what they're looking for. So, guys, I think that NASCAR is on the right road. And this is just going to be an extremely fun event. And like I said, Kane and myself will be there in person to experience it, and getting chills just thinking about the excitement, man. There is nothing quite like Talladega.
I gotta disagree, JD. I mean, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm very jealous that you get to go to Talladega, and I'm sure it will be a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. But to me, it just invalidates the first 2/3 of the season. I mean, what's the point? Oh, we get a chase spot. So what? I mean, other than that, you saw what happened earlier this season when some of the drivers were like, well, I'm already in the chase, so I don't really care. I'm not really going to race. It's like F1 right now where people aren't actually racing anymore. To me, it takes away from the rest of the season.
Who didn't race?
I know at one point Junior said that they weren't really trying to race because they were just playing it safe. They're like, no, we're already in the chase. We're not going to push it. Why should we push it and trash our car when we have to race the same car later on in the season? So I mean, it just takes away.
But Junior trashed his car later in the season, and he won a second race this year.
He did, but I mean, if that's the mentality that teams are starting to get because of this chase format, I mean,
in fact,
it's like, okay, you win the first race of the season, now it's like, oh, well, you can just sit back, run around in last place for the rest of the season. We don't have to worry about it.
One of the
That ain't
seasons
gonna happen though, because you've got your sponsors that are still pressuring you to do good.
Exactly.
Plus, there's a big old payday for winning the race that the drivers want.
that not only the payday, these drivers are humans. Okay, NASCAR drivers are humans like we are. They have a garage full of guys that work non-stop week in and week out to make sure that their car is tops for their driver. Listen, I want you guys to, I noticed this, listen to your driver interviews in NASCAR, and 99% of the time these drivers, the first person they compliment directly after their sponsors is their crew, because they have a team that works so hard and so many hours week in and week out that they want to win, not only for their sponsors, they want to work for the guys that work so hard so that they can be there. They don't want that. I promise you, they're not out there just lagging ass, dude. They're out there trying, excuse my language, but they're trying to win the race. I promise you, they are, and they may not try to win each week, but I'll tell you what I've liked about the new format is they've emphasized winning. And so, whereas you used to, and I'll even say it, I'll admit it, my own favorite driver has been bad about it in recent years. And he hasn't been this year, thank goodness. But I'm a Jeff Gordon fan, and he was bad about not trying to win races, but trying to get top fives. And it hurt him. And as soon as he starts trying to focus on winning, he's had an unbelievable season. He noticed the top fives are coming, but those that try to get aggressive and win races tend to have extremely well results. Look at Joey Logano, a driver who did win early in the season and could have laid back. He's won 5 races this season and has just just unbelievable. I've been so proud of Joey Logano that even if I'll tell you what, as close as Jeff is to winning the championship, if Joey goes and wins it, I will be proud. I have really come to like Joey Logano this season as a young talent and just an extremely cool driver, and I like his attitude. I just think he's a cool guy to look up to for some of the young NASCAR fans out there. Good guy and exciting. I like it. Not everybody's going to like the new format, but I think it will grow on folks. I really do.
Yeah, I do see where Jim's coming from with it too. Like, it's just that element of that they can, if they want to, take it easy and not take that extra risk for the win. And like, yeah, Joey and Brad Keselowski, they've been kicking ass all year, but they could come out in the next round of the chase with the final 8 and get wrecked by a car 27 laps down of someone not in the chase hunt, and that's it. That's their season over.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
I mean, take what's going on right now, where the 48 and the 88 both basically have to win either Charlotte or Talladega, which anybody can be an idiot and still win at a super speedway. Basically, I'm not trying to take away from what they do. I know it's hard, but it's like a generic, all right, Florida, go left.
Yeah, that
I
was.
mean,
you
meanwhile,
can't
you've
tell
got,
me that. You can't tell me
trust
that
me.
when certain drivers have won at Talladega. Not the great Dale Earnhardt won Talladega at 10 times. The ones that know how to draft and race restrictor plates do it well. There are drivers that don't do that aren't worth anything at restrictor plates. Now I do give it is a gamble, but you do have to put yourself in the right situation at the right time to make things happen at Talladega. You can't just go out there and the car is going to win or lose for you.
I understand. I mean, get back
dump
to
whoever, and so
But
you
I
get
do
through to the next round.
understand, yes, it is a crapshoot as far as the positions change by the draft so quickly that you just have to hope you're in the right place at the right time.
I mean, going back a little bit though, you have the 48 and the 88 both taken out last week, and the 2 by Goodyear screwing up with their tires. I mean,
yes,
the 2 towed the company line. Oh, well, I don't know what happened. Whereas the 48 and the 88 both came out and said, look, Goodyear sucks. And it's something totally out of their control, and suddenly they're out, even though they've been dominating all season.
Yeah,
To me,
right.
that's a big problem.
I understand that, but what's the difference in that right there and in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze series here on iRacing with a guy racing for the championship and his computer goes out and, oh my God, all of a sudden he's out of the race and out of the points race. You know, that detrimental hit killed his season.
Yeah, but that's like
that's
blowing an engine, so that's in-house shop maintenance.
Well, an engine
tire
is
blowing out is their tire supplier.
right.
To me, it doesn't reward consistency. I mean, if somebody can be going great, first, second, third place all season, Gets in the chase, none of that matters.
I know it does matter, Jim. No. Let me stop you right there because consistency has paid off this season. It paid off in Matt Kenseth, a driver that won 0 races, but has found himself in a beautiful position. And in fact, he is actually in a great position to make it to the final 8. And he hasn't even come close to winning a race, but he has consistently put himself in top 10 situations.
Yeah,
So,
but if they had a bonus point system for guys that won races that carried over to each round of the chase, then he wouldn't be in with a chance. Carl
no,
Edwards
but that's
wouldn't be in
why
with a chance.
they don't have it set up like that, Marty. That's a if. We could do what ifs all day. I'm telling you how the system is.
Yeah, it
Well,
is. It's
that's
been
what
an
it is, though.
endurance race all season. Now it's turned into a sprint, and if you miss one stride, you're out.
That's right. You've got to perform to be the champ. And this is it. This is like people that argue to me in other sports when they argue about seeding and oh man, well we got to play so and so. We have to play this team. That's not fair. No, it is fair. For you to be champion, champion is someone that is the best. So for you to be the best, it doesn't matter who you play. If you can't beat them, you don't deserve to be the champion.
Yeah.
Well, how
but
can you
you
be
get
the champion when somebody's giving you bad tires? Your tire destroys itself.
Now, I'm not worried about good. I mean, I can't help Goodyear. Neither can Dale Jr. or Jimmy Johnson.
That's stuff outside
that
of
stuff
their control.
happens.
You know,
I mean,
the cars are running fine.
Yeah, that stuff you can't. I mean, that's until the day that somebody can make a perfect tire. God, if they make a perfect tire, I hope to God it doesn't go to auto racing. I hope it goes on my family's car so it keeps us safe. But I mean, tires blowout is part of life, and I hate it. I mean, I hate it because I love Dale Jr. and Jimmy Johnson, but it happens. It's part of it. Things like that are going to happen, and if we ran the point system, you can go right now to jayski.com, and Jayski is the silly season site. It's a NASCAR website, and I love something that they do, boys. They take the current standings, and they show you how everybody would be standing right now if they ran the old system, and they even do it for the old Winston Cup, just without a chase. And it is really cool to go see. Just go check it out. Things are actually pretty close to it all the time. And now there are different changes. For one, Jeff Gordon wouldn't be down in 8th place right now. He'd be more up around 2nd or 3rd. Because of just the way things fell with him having one rough week. Same with Jimmy Johnson. He'd be up a little bit higher. But for the other that, they're all kind of where they deserve to be.
Well, I think that proves my point exactly, though. I mean, basically what you're doing is you have 3 races to fix your chances to be the championship, and one of those races go bad. That's like saying for your entire, say, 30 race season, you're going to fall out of 10 of those races, so just discount them. It's the same ratio. I mean, it doesn't do.
What's the difference in that, Jim?
Well, take for example your point earlier, like, oh, the peak antifreeze series driver has a bad connection. Okay, so he lost one race. His consistency, if he has top 5s the rest of the season, that one race isn't going to matter. Whereas in the chase, one race can throw you out even though you've been leading the entire season. Suddenly you're out because of an outside influence or somebody like a rookie Danica Patrick that's 20 laps down and can't drive the car in a straight line.
That's why it's not one race. Mm-hmm. You have 3 races that are mini seasons in the chase. Okay, you have 3 rounds that are mini seasons. Okay, and what these mini seasons are, you can have a bad race and still advance. You can wreck out and still advance, and you don't even have to win a race. You just have to perform well the other 2 races. And you'll see even Jimmy Johnson, if Jimmy Johnson comes to, I believe the 48 will advance. And the reason why is he'll go into Charlotte. If he doesn't win Charlotte.
Because NASCAR's fixed.
No, it's definitely not fixed, Marty. But if Jimmy Johnson goes into Charlotte and he'll perform well, it's one of his best tracks statistically. Okay, if he goes into Charlotte, and let's just say he gets a top 5, and then he goes into Talladega, and let's say he gets a top 10, he should advance. And, yes, there's a chance he doesn't advance, but it's a small percentage that he doesn't advance after performing that well. Because other drivers are going to have rough races as well. If they don't, then that sucks. I mean, they outperformed him in those 3 races. I understand where you're coming from. It's almost not fair, but everybody knows the system, and if everybody follows the system, this is just the first year we've ever done it. So people are going to have that doubt and think. What I'm saying is I believe it adds a ton of excitement to NASCAR, and it helps a lot of issues that have hurt NASCAR. And this, Jim, as an American, Americans have a hard time with baseball. Okay, they have a hard time with the 164 game seasons. It's too long. Games don't mean things. The Super Bowl is the biggest in the world, not only because people love football, but even when football wasn't the number one sport, the Super Bowl was still the number one thing watched in America because the entire season went down to one game. It didn't come down to a best of 7 series. It came down to one performance, and that is all the excitement into one night, and Americans love that. And NASCAR is
3 months long season.
NASCAR is America's auto sport, and that is exactly what Americans want. Whether they say it or not, we want excitement. We don't want it dragged out. We want excitement now. And when we get to Homestead, I hope that you see what I'm talking about when we get to Homestead and we have 4 drivers left and it comes down to that final race. I believe for the first time in years, we will see our champion win the final race of the year. It's going to happen because they're going to have to win it because somebody's going to be, you just trust me, that somebody's going to win that race that is one of those 4 drivers. And I
By the
can't
way,
wait.
Go Orioles.
Yes.
Hometown team. Go Orioles.
Well, I have to pull for the Orioles, and I also have to pull for Kane's team up there in Kansas, the Royals. And the reason I'm pulling for both of these guys to make the World Series is because neither one of them has done anything in so many years. No offense to them, but I'm extremely pulling for both of them. It's about time the Orioles have made it. They are in such a tough division with the Yankees and the Red Sox and even the Blue Jays at times. And so, way to go, Orioles. I am so happy. I hate the Yankees with a passion, as a lot of people know. I like the Red Sox. I mean, they're, whatever, I like them. But happy, so happy for the Orioles, buddy. I know you're stoked.
Of course.
But yeah, I get excited about my NASCAR, man. I love it to death, and I am definitely for the new point system. I think it's going to be big in the long run. I'm looking at the big picture, and as the thing, NASCAR's biggest mistake would be to come in and change it next season to something else. So what they need to do is just stay with this and let it get its own tradition, and then people will follow. But anyways, does anybody have anything else they would like to bring up tonight? I know we kind of ran short last week on the post-race show, so I'm sorry I babbled on a little bit about the NASCAR, but it is getting that time of the year where all our motorsports are starting to wrap up and for the winter, and I tell you what, man, it gets exciting, don't it? I mean, let's talk to the Aussies for a second. You guys got Bathurst going on right now. I don't have anywhere I can watch it. So it's just super exciting to me. Just knowing that you guys got that going on right now, and don't, whatever in the world, don't let me know who wins until I see it.
Well, we got the Bathurst 1000. We got the
V8
new race in Russia, bloody for the Formula One, plus the NASCAR this weekend. So it's a busy weekend for us motorsport gurus, and big shout out to Trevor Holder and everyone at the Baines household. Enjoy your evening. Don't drink too much, or don't do anything I wouldn't do.
That's right.
JD, go out right now. Get the V8 Super View.
Yes, I get it at the end of the season, usually when it's $9.99, because what happens is all the other motorsports are over, and I don't know who's won any V8 Supercar races with the exception of maybe Bathurst. I usually don't even know who the champion is unless I get in a room where guys are talking about it.
Provisional poll.
Right, and what I end up doing is I end up watching the entire season for $10 during the winter months when there is no motorsports. That's JD's V8 Supercar season, and what I love is I get to watch all the races on my schedule in full HD, and it's just awesome. I did it last year, and I got to watch literally every single race of the V8 Supercar season, literally every day. I went on this spree of watching like almost a race a day, and it was like I'd watch it awesome every night when I got ready to go to bed. I'd watch it, and I'd at least watch it till either the end of the race or I fell asleep. And if I fell asleep, I'd watch the rest of it the next night. It was just awesome, and I want to do that again. So, but the only race that I know that I'll know who ends up winning it is Bathurst, because I know I'll end up seeing it in the news or something.
Oh, it's great. I gotta say, we'll put out to our sponsors here. I love the V8 Supercars website and the V8 Superview.
Yes,
Right,
it is.
right now I'm a little behind. I'm only I need to watch race 28 and 29 still, but it's been great being able to watch it over here in the U.S. with it.
Now, Jim, tell for some of the viewers out there, how much is the V8 Superview for the Americans?
I think, I don't know, it's been a couple months. Couple months since I ordered it, because they started back in February. I think it was $30 for the entire season.
Oh,
But
no
you can,
way.
but you can also get other packages like just the enduro races and stuff like that. I know every now and then you can find like the Super Utes on the on like YouTube and stuff. They used to broadcast those on the Super View. I kind of wish they'd go back to the Dunlop series and the Super Utes on the online service, but you can normally go find those like on YouTube and stuff. I think they post them up later.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know that it was that cheap, or I would have been watching all year.
Yeah,
But
so I'm like, what are you doing? It's only
well,
30 bucks for the whole year.
but I do enjoy watching it during the winter when there is no motorsports going. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
when you go back and you're like, oh, I want to watch that race again because it was so good. They've had a lot of good races this season.
And that's cool because I'll watch them for the first time in the winter, and it'll be fun. So
I can't do it because I've got too many like Twitter feeds and
right, see,
Facebook
that's me.
pages, so I have to like
Yeah.
stay away from social media for like a week after a V8 race, or else I know what happens. Like, oh, here comes She-Vegas. I gotta scroll through it really quick. I can't look.
See, where I live, you're okay, man. Just stay off of Twitter. I don't go on
Right.
Twitter, and I'm okay.
So yeah, I think I might hop off here so I can go watch race 28, see the Sydney Motorsport Park race and did the third race go in the rain? Anyone know? Crickets.
Yeah, I don't think they know.
Jason, Marlon, Marty.
I
Work with
seen
me
some
here.
of the qualifying and practicing was in the rain, but I don't know if the
Yeah,
race
26 and
itself went.
27 were both in the wet. I'm just wondering if 28 was also.
And we hear it from the other
I know who
American.
won one race.
What? What was that,
I know
Marty?
who won the first race.
Well,
I
he
know who
asked
won the
if
first
it was
race.
in the rain. He don't want to know who won it.
I want to know. No, I've watched the first and second race at Sydney. I was just wondering about the third race, whether that was in the rain or not.
Oh, I didn't. I haven't watched it either.
Oh, you're no good.
No, I am no good. So.
Friggin' STC drivers.
Well, I tell you what, with that, we'll end the broadcast. And guys, been a fantastic season so far. And next week, the finale, man.
Yep.
Bring it on.
Well, once again, I might actually race. You never know. Phillip Island's just like I'm drawn to it after the big race we had here a couple years ago, where I almost wrecked out the leaders as they were lapping me.
Absolutely, man.
Ended up punting one of them into the grass. Oh my God, I felt so horrible. Curtis was sitting there laughing at me on TeamSpeak while I did it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It happens to the best of us. That's what I always say whenever I hear somebody start chiming up and yelling at somebody or calling them names. Like, next week it will be you, or it was you last week.
Well, we were coming up to the hairpin, and I think it was Madison was coming up behind me. I was staying over to the right side so we could take the normal line to the hairpin. And he thought I was going to move to the left, so he kept going to the right too. And suddenly he was in the grass at full speed.
Goodness gracious.
I've seen
And then
some
later
of the
on-
best saves at Phillip Island.
Well, later on in the broadcast, he was like, "Yeah, I've been practicing stuff like that because I figured we get some no talent person." I was like, "Oh man."
Well, boys, next week, Phillip Island, the final race of our V8's America season. Congratulations to Bo Cattell again on winning here in the top split. Also, Jason Quire victorious in the second split. Great runs tonight as well from Curtis Chipaway and Marty Carroll rounded out our podium. And that is how it went here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal, Canada. We'll be back as we come to you live next week from the Phillip Island. I'm JD Smith, Kane Craft with me tonight, as well as Jim Davey. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next time. Contact free. Close. Contact free.
Muggleton just has to cross over this crest. He will cross the line and will win the championship.